Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. This has been a completely, surprising turn of events. First, Arsenal hosted Liverpool and won the game, and then we have a full house, except Bob,
Let's,
of
I,
course.
let me do my usual thing. I think that's the most surprising thing, actually, having four of us together at the same time and having Ellen here back after a long time. These are the surprising things. I think Arsenal was a Liverpool winning was a given. Let's say that now that we won it.
In all the surprise that we have Arun cutting me off at the start.
I had to do that,
so,
right?
So there is some normalcy in the world. Thanks, Arun. But yeah, we have got the full house. We have got Arun back with us. Hi, Arun.
Hello.
We've got Deepak back with us after some time. Hi, Deepak.
Hello.
And Ellen, he has also started a Let's Talk FPL. We have talked about it. We have links attached to it, but he is back. So anyone who's playing the FPL thingy, I don't do that because I'm also a very superstitious person. So if I pick a player and they don't perform well, especially Arsenal players, I feel very bad. But anyone who follows or plays FPL, follow his channel. Hi, Ellen.
Hi guys. Because of one suggestion from my side, you should start playing FPL and take all our opponent players so that they don't perform and good for you.
My jinx doesn't certainly work like that. Like sometimes when I pick opposition players, they start performing, and it's like there's absolutely another jinx that actually works, which is if I paint some player, they perform very bad. So maybe I should start painting like Haaland or someone. But I also don't want to paint Haaland and then like he doesn't perform well, and then United or some shit like that win stuff. No. So at least City, I can digest the fact that they have won titles, they'll keep winning titles. That I can digest. But if United or Spurs, someone gets closer to that, no way. But
the things we do for love.
the things we do out of madness. That's the right way to put it, Arun. But anyways, today we are doing the Liverpool, game review. And for all the listeners, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I know we've been saying this a lot, but it'll actually help us, continue this. There has been a lot of soul searching, to say the least, about continuing this podcast and stuff. But the support and whatever we have got till now has been amazing. Please do continue doing that, and it'll be good if you could share it with a couple of your mates and stuff. But with that out of the way, what a win, guys. I mean, we've been thinking about winning with the top teams and stuff, but Deepak, I'll start with you regarding this, right? Like, Liverpool has always been that mojo team, at least in the recent past. We never had the confidence to ever say, even this time, we didn't have the confidence to say, yeah, we are going to win against them. How does it feel after this win, though?
Yeah, it feels really good, right? Like beating like a top team, even though they are not in good form, they still have like world-class players. Like they didn't dominate the game, but they still scored 2 goals, which shows they have a great talent in their team. So this was like a statement win for, let's say, Arteta. Everyone was like, "Oh, you didn't play any great team, so Arsenal is just like winning against like."
And they were not false. We just played at Tottenham and the United. They were not wrong.
So this was like a great win, like because Liverpool has been like media darlings after Klopp came in, and they always considered they are like actually like the best team in the England after City, like for the past 5-6 seasons. So to beat them, actually like convincingly, even though they scored 2 goals, we pretty much dominated them in the second half. We didn't give a sniff after. So that was like really great to see the attitude from the players once they equalized to get that win because we were at home. That was like great to see.
But Arun, on that note, though, right? Like, I mean, starting, you were mentioning about like Deepak was mentioning about how it's a statement from Arteta and stuff. I was saving this discussion for a little bit later, but I'll put this right now. Arteta did start his career with wins against like big teams, like with Chelsea, with that stuff and everything. Like, but then it kind of faded after that. Like, it kind of went into like, oh, we never win against top six under Arteta kind of mode, and then now we don't know what it's going to be. So I just want to know if this is just a purple patch because we have been winning, this keeps continuing, or is this actually a gameplay that you can see, hey, no, if we continue playing like this, we'll win, irrespective
I'll
of the
I'll
purple patch.
I'll ask you the same question back. When we were playing against like all those teams and we were like, churning out wins right at the beginning, we played a certain type of football that we know for sure is not going to be sustainable over the long run. We were trying to make the best use of the kind of people that we have had at that point in time to play a level of football that could just get us results. Because like the moment the manager comes in and if he's grinding out L after L after L, it's not going to get any respect from the team, especially when the team has players who are like north of 25. Like those players who've played in other leagues have the experience and have played under bigger managers than a novice who's like in his 30s. Now, if you notice, right from let's even forget about last season, end of last season, when we saw like the semblance of something coming up, like throughout the season, we saw like we were getting closer to the way we wanted to play, but there were games where we were losing concentration. Like every time that we spoke last season was always like, oh, we're able to maintain conversation and play this way, concentration and play this way for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but never the 90 minutes. Now you take this season, right from the first minute, the first game from kickoff, we've been playing the same way. There is no change in the way in which we are playing. And if anything, that only seems to be getting better and better and better with every game. The number of mistakes that we're making as a team is reducing. The kind of football that we're playing is not being compromised, whatever the opposition is, whether we play at home or away. Big teams do this. Teams who are contending for the top trophies, they don't care about the opposition. They care about how they play because they believe in their plan. For them, their plan A is the best plan A that there could possibly be. And that's where we are going towards. So for me, it is not a purple patch or a flash in the pan, nothing. For me, this is like the beginning of something that is going to be sustainable for us, not just for this season, and for the upcoming years as well. So that's where I see it. I see like a plan that we were made to believe, the process that we were made to believe. I'm actually able to see it properly on screen when I watch the games. That's how I see it. Like I'm not like scared that if we play City tomorrow, either at the Etihad or at the Emirates, we are not going to change the way in which we are going to be playing. We are not going to go into the game with our pants down, bending over. No, we are not going to do that anymore. We'll fight. We'll play the same way we do. Even that if that means losing, we'll do the same way. But the very next game, we'll come back and grind a win.
But okay, I'll cut you off right there. But Ellen, like, yes, what Arun is saying is from game standpoint, all this is a marker, like how we play and stuff. But from players' perspective, for me, like especially because you have been doing FPL for, I mean, as long as I know you, right? So from that perspective, if I have to ask you, how are the players' metrics standing out, right? Especially because of this win and like all this, just as a retrospect of this season, because it's a very important win. No matter what we say, we're like, oh, it's at the end of the day, it's just 3 points and stuff. Yeah, but 3 points about is about the table. What we are talking about is the moral side of it, morale side of it, the mentality side of it, and all that stuff, right? Like, so my question is, like, if you compare player to player from last season or the season before, or from Emery's that purple patch when we went through like 20 games unbeaten and stuff.
Now that was a purple patch. That was
I mean,
unsustainable football. Yeah.
unless
I'll answer that. Arun.
yeah.
Like, let him finish. I will go
Sorry,
with the
sorry,
data.
sorry. I have this bad habit. Sorry.
No. You could cut it. That's the
You
whole
can always
point,
cut
right?
it.
That's the whole point. But that's what Ellen, right? Like we never know if it's a purple patch until it ends, and then we
Okay.
look back in retrospect because we never knew that it was a purple patch with Emery, right?
Let me answer you. Vijay. Like, see, after Klopp came to Liverpool, right? The last 7 years, we have won just one game against Liverpool. And that was like in the after COVID, like we had a break and then we played, right? Where Liverpool lost to literally every team because they won the league and they were like complacent after that. But it was the only time we defeated Liverpool in the league. See, I'm not talking about FA Cups where we had a back three strategy, pass to Auba scores and we were winning, or the Community Shield after that. Like, I'm not talking about those games. I'm talking about proper Premier League games where, see, if you take last year, right, like out, if you take the remaining 6 years, we haven't even competed. Like, we will play, like, say, for 15 minutes, maybe good football, but the remaining 75 minutes, we will struggle. For me, the turning point was like last year's Manchester City game where they had literally 90% possession for the entire match, like the third game of the season starting. I think that was the turning point where like we went to our complete low. After that, we started improving, and like last year's the reverse picture was again another turning point because that is where the players started getting confident that they can compete because City was like really good, and we were the only team like to compete well during that period with them, and like we lost by some you can say refereeing decisions or by like say
I mean, if I
under.
say that, Arun's gonna say, "Don't bring all this conspiracy theories here."
See,
So
it's
Don't
not
bring it.
conspiracy theory is a different thing. Like bad refereeing decision on that day is a different thing. So something happened that time, but that was where like the players got more belief and they know they can compete. Like, and if you see this year, right? Like, see, you have to see small minor things also. Like, say, take Martinelli. If you are taking player by player comparison, Martinelli has gone to like a level like where like he's considered as the best winger at the moment in Premier League. You take Saka, people are saying this is one of the worst seasons of Saka, but he has already scored 3 goals and like some 5 or 6 assists already. When like say a person is performing like that and you're saying this is not as good, like it means like he has gone to a different level. Like that, you can see a lot more things. Not only that, like if you see right, like Arteta is ready to try things in a big game itself. If you take against Tottenham Hotspur, right, like if you see Ben White, he's playing in right back, which is not his position. Nobody gives any much credit to him, but he's doing his job really good.
We will give the
Yeah.
credit.
He's doing his job really good. Like if you see, right, like the initial time, even like we have also said, like Saka's output is not much because Ben White is playing there and not Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu will cut in more and like he will like overlap more. But if you see the recent few games, right, like middle of Tottenham game to be exact, Ben White started going into the like overlapping Saka. He started going into the penalty box area, like lot more things. See, against Tottenham, that game was a different thing because Tottenham was allowing us to attack. But even with Liverpool, right from the beginning, like he was going everywhere. Take the case of Xhaka in this match itself. He was playing left back. He was playing like second striker. He was everywhere in the midfield. Like, see, that's a transition. I'm talking about individual players. They have transition. They have improved their skill. See, Arteta in the City's career, right? Like they used to say, he used to develop the skill set of players. I think that output of him is also coming out now, as well as like the tactics things are also saying. So I don't see, I'm not saying like we will win everything this year or like in the coming year, but definitely we have improved and this is not a purple patch. See, results can be win or loss, but the way we are playing, right, you can see a very big difference and all the players have like really grown under Arteta in the last 6 to 8 months.
Okay, awesome. That's actually
we can
I
say
will
like
still complain Ben White playing in right back. It's because of
you will
Gabriel.
complain about everything they but
well, he's at least acknowledging. He's not saying like Ben White playing at right back is like
Ben White's
detrimental to
problem.
our chances.
Yeah. He's not saying Ben White playing right back is wrong because of Ben White
wrong.
playing right back.
Yeah,
it's because of Gabriel being in
the central back. Yeah.
but Arun, like, okay, so let's get back to the game. Regarding the starting lineup, no one expected Tomiyasu to start at left back. No,
definitely not.
And
no.
I might be the odd one out. I think I might be the odd one out.
Did you expect?
I'll say the reason. No, I'll say the reason. Like, I was not sure about Zinchenko's thing. I was expecting him to come and play in left back sometime in this game. The reason being, the Europa League game, right? Like, he played around 20-30 minutes in left back position. Tomiyasu. See, it was, yes, we had some injuries or anything, but like, I was like having a doubt. He might play in this game, like, but I was not expecting him to start, but I was expecting him to play in left back sometime in this match, either as a sub or like for some period.
you would probably be one of the very few people who actually saw that coming, because no one of us saw that. And when I went to the pub here in Vancouver, everyone was surprised. Oh, Tomiyasu is playing left back. Why are we doing
I was
this?
surprised for the starting. Like, let me be clear that like I didn't expect him to start, but I was expecting him to play that. Let me make that clear.
Yeah, Arun. But
I wasn't expecting. I was like, I think I told in the beginning as well that I would prefer KT to start, even though I was Zinchenko for this game because of the defensive stability.
Yes.
But then, like, what do I know? The gaffer knows best. Like, the I don't know. KT would have been like, we've seen how KT tackles Salah. He kept him quiet for sure, but like, I don't think he would have been able to do a good as good a job, not just in terms of like him personally as a defender, but like how the entire thing panned out and like shutting Salah out of the game, not even like giving him a sniff of a chance.
Yeah,
That was
I
unbelievable.
heard that they're still searching Tomiyasu's pocket for Salah.
Yeah, and like he's deep down in there. Like, it's going to be difficult to get him out. Yeah,
but in that sense, like first half, he was completely dominating. Salah. There was not even a sniff. There was one moment where he just held
try
Salah,
to
turned
Near
like
the penalty
360
box area.
and then went out with the ball. Just embarrassed Salah in the sense, and also it was a very good move because I saw that Liverpool was trying to play the long balls to Salah, long balls to anyone, and it was all coming off the head of Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu was there because he's also our aerial defender, the best aerial defender that we have. Because I was seeing the other people like Xhaka and others, they are not actually aerially that good. Having Tomiyasu there was a very master move for me. But any other surprises you had, Arun, regarding the starting lineup?
No, I think pretty much the rest of the team picked itself. If you really think about it, like, it was our first lineup is like pretty much set. And there seems to be like no changes in it. Like, I don't see any other spot where I thought like maybe this guy should have played instead of who's playing right there, because like there's no way you can take.
In retrospect, obviously we wouldn't think like that way, because especially a game which we dominated and played and we won. But before that, right? Like
No, even when the lineup did come out, I never felt like this guy shouldn't be playing or this one shouldn't be playing. Like, but who would you remove? Like, given the form that the entire team is in right now, as much as Vieira did put up a good performance, he was more direct. He gave a different dimension and all that. You cannot like remove Odegaard for a game like this. Of this magnitude at home, that too, like, that's his bread and butter. Like, home games are his bread and butter. Like, we've seen that most of the time. So I did not like see any name on the sheet that I would have not wanted to see. Tomiyasu was a huge surprise. I wasn't expecting that, and it's like his performance justified his selection. I would just say that. Like, we like, there was one instance, we know what Salah does. He just runs in like a bulldozer. He's very direct, and the fact that he was able to like physically and tactically keep him out of the game through combinations or individually, that was fantastic. It was totally justified. So I didn't. When I saw the lineup, I didn't see any big surprises.
But
just to add add one point here. Like, see, we are all talking about Tomiyasu's defensive ability against Salah. See, Salah was contained like this by AM and also in the past by Arteta.
We don't talk about AMN anymore here.
I know.
I think what Ellen is getting to is like we should now be talking more about Salah's attacking ability than against these guys.
No. What I'm saying is a right-footed left back, right, is able to stop Salah. That we have seen, and like maybe Arteta might have learned this from Wenger too. Like, Wenger, for his entire history, he was one of the pioneers, you can say, to use a right footer in left back position. So maybe he might have learned that also from the. See, what we are missing here also, because of Tomiyasu's presence there, right? Gabriel Martinelli doesn't need to do much in the defense compared to when Zinchenko or like. So he was like completely free on the left side, and they know TAA is not good at defense. So like
say that once more. Say that once more, Ellen. It feels like
TAA is a big liability. TAA is a big liability in defense. See, he's able to like have a good defensive thing is because he's attacking more so that the fullback doesn't attack on that side. That is why like the winger doesn't attack on that side because they have to defend there. So that's why it looks like he's a strong defender kind of thing. But in a one-on-one position, he's always liable. So freeing Martinelli completely, right, like helps you like to do all of these things.
I was actually I was actually getting to that point, right? Like especially about the first goal. Martinelli. I mean, first goal was within that. Like the game started and we scored. It was so good a move and all that thing, but at the end of it, Martinelli had a game where he roasted that side. Like whoever played, like PAA or Anderson or Van Dijk or anyone who played on that side, Matip, all these people got roasted by Martinelli. At least that's what I saw. So talk to me about Martinelli more when you're explaining this, Ellen.
Yeah, as I said, right, like, see, Martinelli, I've already established that he's the best winger at the moment. And like with Tomi, like, he's completely free to attack now. See, the good thing with our current team, right, people interchange positions really well. Like, and it looks like there's no change at all. Like, see, Martinelli comes in, Jesus goes there, like, they do a swap. Same goes on the other side also. So, what is happening now is like there is a complete understanding, and the players know what the others will do also through their practice as well as their trying in the games and everything. They know where Martinelli will now run now. So Jesus goes to the other side if needed. Or they all know like Jesus will go here, Martinelli will go there, and they were continuously doing things. And like say as Xhaka is also going into the middle now, right? It creates more confusion in the opposition defense area. And Martinelli, right, is like rightly using that. See, he is more direct, like say compared to Saka, who is also doing all of these things. Martinelli is more direct and is more like you can say a little bit like more selfish than Saka in trying to score a goal. Saka right try to pass more, whereas like Martinelli tries to shoot more. So that is actually an asset also in one way. So by that right, like you are able to see him in lot more scoring positions in this season. Like either like it is because of like Zaka coming and people coming defense getting moved up, like he's getting more spaces, but he's effectively using those spaces also. That is a growth I'm seeing in him also, and like he's trying to shoot more now also. But now he's intelligent enough. Like if you take like we'll discuss about the second goal later. But like he is intelligent now, like in
I mean, we
areas
can
where
talk
he needs
about the
to
second goal right now if you want. I mean,
not much. No. Like he started passing also. Like instead of shooting, like that is something like he's evolving there also. So if you take that right, like it was see even that one right, you could see like lot more other things happening. Odegaard, right? Like his picture perfect pass to Martinelli was also important. Like that is something we doesn't associate or like we doesn't talk much, but like he waited and passed it at the last moment so that like that goal was much more easier for Martinelli. Like it was a different splitting pass, like the through ball, whatever we can say. Like it was such a good pass. So, but again, we have to finish it because that is one of our painful thing in the last season. And Martinelli finished it really, really well.
That pass was so good that it was like literally I was screaming, everyone was screaming at the pub going like pass because we thought like we have missed the opportunity. And but oh my god, what a pass that was. Just split, and I can see Van Dijk just standing there seeing his career shattered right there when the ball went in. But Deepak, on the other side of it, we have been talking about goals for Arsenal side of it, but we did concede 2 goals, and especially the first goal, like you said, you have been vocal about Gabriel in that part of pitch.
Now you're just giving him a podium to be even more vocal
yes.
right now.
we want to go viral, so we're poking Deepak to get that rant out of him. But yeah,
it's not just that mistake, right? Even if he doesn't make mistake, every pass he hits is under hit or it's over hit. I know he's a different defender, but the way like to go for us to go to the next level, you need a better defender in that place. Like I don't know whether we are looking for someone, but not just that. Like he makes mistakes every single game right now. That was a handball for sure. Then
do you think so? It's a handball.
It is a handball.
I don't think so because it was too close for him to react. Right? I mean, it is
a handball.
Also, it's a ball that hits the hand, not the hand.
Cry when happens to you.
Yeah, exactly. You would have called conspiracy if Arsenal was
Arsenal wasn't given this. For sure, you would have told that. That is a
These are
handball.
very, but it's
100% handball.
definitely a decision that goes against. It's
But I mean,
normally it's given. Yeah,
but yeah, normally it's given and all that is fine. But still, like the ball was aimed at his hand. It
See,
was not like
if it happened to Arsenal, you wouldn't be giving any of this reasonable explanation or
that's true.
anything.
That's true.
because
We
I'm an
would just
Arsenal
like
fan. I've always
Yeah,
told you I'm not the
obviously.
smart
So
one in
yeah,
the group.
he made the same mistake like for the first goal, and he did the same thing again. Like he
The
was
same
trying to
match.
clear.
Yeah.
Same match. If he had tried to like, if the ball had flicked off him, Nunes was right through the goal. He could have scored because that guy had a good game actually. So yeah, like if we want like some probably like I've been saying this for like from the first game, you have to move Ben White out of right back.
No.
But
You can move Tomi there. He plays
yeah,
left center back in for
center
Japan.
back. Yeah, do that as well. I don't want to see Gabriel in that team.
even
No,
in
like
even in a game that we have won against Liverpool, Away Gooners is the only podcast where you could hear people complaining about one of the players.
no. I'll support Deepak here. Like, see, I'm not blaming Gabriel. See, Gabriel is still an asset for us. Let me make that clear. But like, see, there are
No,
two things.
no.
If you take Ben White and Saliba, right? Like, he's an asset in a way. Like, see, if you don't, it's better to have him in the bench than like a guy like Skulachi or Socrates or like Mustafi or anybody. Like, so he's still an asset. But like, say, just coming here, like, say, if you take Saliba or Ben White, right? They are more intelligent than Gabriel. Gabriel is more reactive. Like if you take their defensive strikes, these guys, right? They try to like stop the problem before it becomes a problem itself. Like they try to avoid such situations itself. Whereas Gabriel, right? He makes that situation happen, and finally he saves it.
But that's also needed, right? Because these guys, for me at least, right? Like there is no chaos in this group at all. Like. And
See,
Gabriel
that's what I'm
brings that
saying.
chaos, and we need some of that thing to happen.
See,
I'll
chaos
come
has
back.
to be brought in the front line, not in
Not
the
at the back end.
defensive line.
That's
There
what.
shouldn't be any chaos in your defensive line.
Turning my
if
words
it's,
on me, damn it.
Yeah. That is what I was also saying. See, there are other things. So if Saliba or White makes a mistake, right, it will not affect you. Whereas when like Gabriel makes a mistake, right, he's like the last ditch guy, and if he makes a mistake, it will become a very big mistake. So see, I'm okay with mistakes, but you should not repeat it. Like as Deepak said, right, the same match, the way we consider the first goal, right, he would have tried to do this thing again, but luckily, like he wouldn't have touched the ball.
true.
And the ball would have gone. The same as he would have done that. One other thing is like when we are doing counterattacks kind of thing, right? Gabriel is the guy who slows it. See, yesterday there were like 2-3 instances like where there were no pressing or anything. He was completely free. The ball was coming into him like for a change in the side. Like, see, when we are attacking from left to right, like you try to pass the ball to the front side of a player so that he can run, take the ball and go into the attack. He was passing it to the back side. So the player has to come back, get the ball and go. Like say when you are doing to a counter attack, right? Like that doesn't like help us. See,
You.
I'm saying I'm not asking him like to do a big pass, or I'm not asking him to do a good pass like when there's pressure or anything. There is no pressure at all. Like it was all the Liverpool players were on their half. He was in our half. He was getting a ball and he was passing to the back. I'm not saying the goalkeeper, a person in the front is passing so that he has to come back to collect the ball and go there. See, this is a common pattern I'm seeing. See, with the way we are developing, right, we need a guy who at least has to pass it proper. Gabriel has to learn it. He has age in his side. He has this thing. I'm not saying like we have to get a replacement. Like he has to learn that skill. To like,
do you guys think like even the fact that we do not have someone pushing him for the position, that is one of the main reasons why he doesn't have a
that
lot
is
of
true.
Incentive.
Agreed on that. Like say, see now like Tomi is right.
Even holding passes better than him.
Holding with the hair is one of the best holdings that you can.
Like Ellen said, like a regular pass which he hits, right, even if he hits to the front of the player has to wait for the ball to come. It completely slows you down when you're trying to do a counter attack. Leave alone like he passes behind your back. Even the ball he hits front.
but he is the one who is running. Like there was one moment in this game, and it has been happening
I
all
was
time this
about to add
season.
that.
Simply,
He was
the
the one
commentators
who
are saying like in the NBC, the commentator was saying like Gabriel was so like what he said that exact word. He was so
dynamic.
intelligent. He left the ball as he couldn't even reach that ball. That's
No,
why it reached Saka.
yeah. It was like,
No,
why are you being the striker? Like, I mean, he has been doing that for quite
See,
some time.
correctly, like you said for your thing, he caused chaos in that side. Okay, good marks for him.
Okay, so moving on from the defensive side. Yeah, we conceded 2 goals, which both I think are
Yeah, the second
soft.
goal was like
Very
probably
soft.
due
Saliba's
to like
mistake.
Saliba's mistake, which
Yes,
is like of
Saliba's
course
mistake.
he's learning. So yeah,
Yeah,
which we can.
but
Yeah,
that's
that was a great pass as well. Like, and I didn't expect Firmino to finish.
yeah. I
To be
mean,
honest,
Firmino will finish against Arsenal.
yeah, Arsenal, yes.
Yeah,
It's a
actually,
typical thing.
between Firmino and Liverpool, sorry, Arsenal and Liverpool, right? Firmino is the player who has scored maximum number of goals in the entire
10
history.
goals.
No. Yeah, so I had no surprises there when he scored. But Arun, getting back to our goals, right? The next 2 goals that we scored. Uh, what was the second goal again?
Second goal was
Saka.
Yeah.
Trent
Martinelli.
Alexander-Arnold changing a 3v1 into 1v3. Yeah.
Martinelli's that pass. Yeah, but again, like that showed Martinelli's class, right? Where he took out 3 players with one move. And thank God for Henderson to play Saka on side for that, because it could have very well be an offside goal if he was not playing him on side. But that goal typifies Arsenal at this point, right? Like where we not just hit on counter, but hit on such a way that it's so convincing. The goals are like very convincing that this would go in. But before that goal, we had a couple of chances that we kind of squandered. We like especially the Odegaard one. How much
Oh
would
my
that
God.
how much
Oh
would
my
that have
God.
hurt Arsenal if we didn't go?
Fabio Vieira was there. It was a goal.
Fabio Vieira tried it too. So don't put that way, Deepak, because
Yeah,
Bodo
I will
gave
put
me
it
some.
that way.
Agenda.
But
See, Vijay, just to this thing, Odegaard, right? Like he doesn't shoot much. Like I agree to that, but for that goal, right, he didn't have to shoot. He could have just passed the ball into the net.
Or he
Like,
could have passed it to Saka. Everyone is screaming, pass it to Saka, because he was
Saka
clean.
would have missed. Don't worry. He's
Come
not
on.
that great at finishing.
I don't think Deepak believes anyone for this finishing apart from Vieira right now. I don't know what Vieira stand right
Suddenly
now.
Deepak is a Vieira stan right now. But Arun, like the second and third goals, right? Like let's talk it about from goals perspective, because it's a Saka, right? Both the goals are Saka's goals. I mean, he scored it. How much of this is needed by Saka at this moment? Like he needs to score this goal to gain confidence or something.
No,
the
he
thing-
has been playing well for the last 3 matches. Why he has to
But-
like gain
No,
confidence?
that's
He
the
has
thing.
improved.
That's where I was getting at, because like he has been playing fantastically well for the last few matches. The thing is, people who just look at stats to rate a player will definitely see that he's not been having assists or goals, and then like they would say he's not having thing. But the role of Saka in this team is definitely not just about providing assists or goals. Whatever he does during the game takes half a team out. I don't see any other player in the Premier League right now, including Martinelli, who's able to do that. This is like, like you don't like teams don't mark a 20-year-old with 3 players if they don't realize how big of a threat he can be. So anyone who's saying like just based on numbers saying that Saka, Kulusevski is better than Saka, or a Sancho is better than Saka, or a Mount is better than Saka, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, because this kid is playing at a completely different level. Now, what it did to his confidence, or where it was important, was his composure in doing all the things that he did in the game when there was so much of chaos around him. Like right for the third goal, the penalty that we were talking about, we don't know what happened there. There seemed to have been a big fight.
We'll talk about it.
Some things were uttered. Like forget about all that. But like when you're 2-2 and this is like a penalty in the past the 75th game, when you know that if you score the penalty against a game like team like Liverpool, you're literally like giving yourself a chance. Liverpool can come back as well, but you're pushing your team ahead. And in spite of all the chaos, for him to be able to do that completely, and I don't know if you guys saw that or not, Van Dijk came and like tried to hit the ball away from his hand. Like, I was like, dude, you are like, behave your age. You're almost 30. You're the captain of the Netherlands team, and you're trying to like pick on a kid who's 20. Like, what does it show about you? And you're trying to do that. And in spite of all that, he maintained his confidence. Like he said, he knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he had to do. He didn't change his plan at all. It speaks a lot volumes of his conviction and the maturity that kid has on his head. So for me, this was like, I don't know if he needed this, but this will definitely help him. That's how I see it. Like, he's just growing game after game after game, and this is all proof that he's improving so much as a player. It's just like, I'm just super excited. I'm super excited to see what's going to happen after this.
I mean, Arun, you were talking about like the penalty decision. I'll ask this with everyone, right? Like, penalty that Saka scored. First thing is,
yes,
there has been a
yes, it was a penalty.
but yeah, that's the question, right? Like, I mean, Klopp came out and said it was not a penalty. In his post
any question you ask, answer is yes. That's it. It's yes. That's all. See, there have been so many instances where we have been on the other side of this. Like, Kane fell to the ground last season when Cedric just touched him. They gave him a penalty. No, I didn't see anyone complaining, saying that it was a soft penalty, except us, like your conspiracy theories and stuff. No one like complained.
See, I'm always consistent. That's what you guys have to learn from this. I'm always consistent in what I'm talking about. Even in this game, I have that, right? Like, yes, apart from penalty, sorry, Deepak, to cut you off, but apart from the penalty, I feel that even though the referee was pretty decent in this game, there was a lot of calls that went, especially fouls and stuff, that Liverpool got away with a lot of fouls that would have been
especially Tsimikas. That guy should have got a yellow.
Yeah, that guy should have gotten yellow. Like, when Gabriel Jesus fell down, I really felt really bad, because it was like there was no reason. He just fell down like that, and I was really worried during that time. But even then, after that, when Fabinho was substituted, let's just take a moment to laugh at Klopp for substituting Fabinho for Salah when they were trailing. That means he has given up. Right, but again, when Fabinho came out, the first thing was he made a foul. But then, like, the whole rule of like, oh, it's a first foul. Why is the first foul treated differently than a third foul? It's a foul is a foul, no matter what the time it happens, how many times he did and stuff. It should be treated as a foul.
If they had given up that as a foul, then they shouldn't have given the penalty. Do you agree to that? No, right? That's all. Leave it at that. It's a penalty. That's it. Like, any pundits can cry or anything. They can say soft penalty. It's not a penalty. It's a penalty. Thiago touched Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus played it and got the penalty. That's it. It doesn't matter whether it was not like a hard touch or something. Let's say it's a clever play. No, like, if it happens against us, people will laud the other forward, saying, "Oh, it was a clever play. He won the penalty." Why can't they say the same thing? It's a penalty. That's all.
But okay, so now we have to touch upon the incident that happened around the penalty. I know we don't know a lot of things that happened there. There has been rumors going on and off about like what might have happened there. Seems like Henderson has said something to Gabriel Magalhaes. So all this happening. But Ellen, the first thing I want to talk about is like how Xhaka stepped up. Xhaka was the guy who was actually fighting with, half the Liverpool team.
It's not. He will fight. He has to get his customary yellow card.
But that's the thing.
He did get good, right?
Yeah. Ellen, that's the thing, right? Like, he knew when to step off, and just not stepping off, right? There were like some parts of the game that still had to be played, like 7 to 9 minutes that has to be played, where he maintained his composure, which was great to see from Xhaka.
See, I think we are wrong there. We always associate Xhaka as a person who gets all these things. But if you see, right, all the red cards he have got so far, they were all direct red. Whenever he gets a yellow, right, he doesn't get a second yellow at all. He knows how to play. And he knows, most of the time he gets an yellow because, at the time our tactics were also like that. So people will make a cynical flow so that they get an yellow. Until they get an yellow, they'll start trail to that. So Xhaka knows how to play. Like, see, this season, right? Like, if you see, right, even though Odegaard is our captain, official captain or official leader, he's more like a tactical leader. The one who inspires the team, the one who brings all the team together is actually Xhaka. Many times you see, like, whenever the team's composure is down, or you could see, like, we score a goal, he's the one who immediately brings the team together and asks them to focus. So he's a natural leader, and like when something happened at that time, right? Like he was nearby. Initially, he was trying to stop things, but then like after he heard whatever that has been said, like he also got vocal, and he was like, it was very difficult for others to control him. See, I will say, like, I don't know what has happened, but like Henderson has said something really bad, because even his own players, right? Like, say, players like Allison, everybody, they were all like shocked, and they were all like, you could see for a minute, like, or for a second, like, they were all like, see, when something bad happens, right? Like, you'll all be like quiet kind of thing. It felt like that. Then they came to defend with Xhaka attacking. They came to defend their team member. But like at the initial thing, when the thing happened, right, they were all very shocked too. So something has happened, and like naturally, Xhaka is a person who like defends his teammates, and like who like is the first person to come and support his teammates. Right? He went and fought there. See, the important thing here is that, right? Like, if you say at the end of the thing, right? Like, when people are asking about Xhaka for his penalty, there was a fight happening. He was just focusing on the penalty. He was asking what kind of a fight. That was also important. Like, we take about this, we forget about that. Like, the mind of a 20-year-old person thinking about like what is the thing he has to focus at that time, because that he could have gone into that fight because he was also close by. But he knows like he has to take that penalty, and his focus was completely there. So that is also something we'll have to see.
But Deepak, on this fight thing, I just want to linger a little bit on, because I don't follow much of the news that's happening around this. Seems like at least at the game after that whole thing, the referee went to Klopp and Arteta and said something, and then came back. Now, what is the talk around this regarding the fight? What is the fight? What is happening right now? Is there going to be, do you think it'll come out in some form or no?
I don't know about that. But like for sure, we shouldn't jump into conclusions and say something like probably this time is like fully cancel culture. So we shouldn't just simply cancel Henderson that he did something, he said something until like it's like officially like because like I believe they asked Klopp and Arteta in the press conference. They didn't say anything. They said whatever happens stays on the pitch. So I don't think so. It's something like major, like some kind of racist comments or anything. But like I said, we shouldn't jump into conclusions. It could be anything, something like, but we shouldn't jump into conclusions. That's all I'm saying. If it was something bad, for sure, I think Arteta would have spoken when he was asked about it in the press conference. So he was like, it's like something happened in the pitch, it stays on the pitch. Let's leave about it. It's the same thing Klopp said as well.
Yeah.
So one more thing to note here is when he talks with Arteta and Klopp, he also talks to the fourth umpire, and fourth umpire notes something. See, I have never seen them writing something like a main referee comes and asks them to record something. It looked like that. Let's see, it could be like anything, but like as Deepak said, but like this is not an ordinary incident. But again, until we know what has happened, right? Like whatever we say may be right or wrong.
Talking about incidents, like I just wanted to bring this up. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this video that got leaked on the internet with Auba talking about Arteta. It was like one of those sting operations that we see on Indian TV channels when they go in with a hidden camera and then someone posts something about like a politician taking bribes. But here it wasn't bribes. Of course, it was like Auba talking about like, Arteta and the fact that he cannot handle big characters and big players. That's not the interesting part though. But the interesting part is he has come out with another tweet saying like, it was a moment of frustration that I had to take out when I left for Barcelona. And it wasn't like, he did support what the team was doing right now. He said like, Arsenal are doing really well and I'm happy about it. So he's going to be like, sort of supporting us until November 6th. So
is he trying? Is he trying to be anti-RVP? Like he knows that if he doesn't have
every player right now is doing that. I don't know if you noticed a few days back. Not a few days back. Yesterday, even Ozil posted a message supporting Saka.
Did he?
Starboy. Oh yeah. You didn't see that? Like he said, like. He said, like, he didn't mention trust the process, but he said, like, his usual, Gunners, and like, my star boy, all good things for you, something like that. And he tagged Saka in it. So, like, I think based on, I think we are a fickle bunch of fans. Arsenal fans are known to be fickle. We go to all extents, like from abusing a player and his family to stalking him and his flights. So I think our former players are very aware of the kind of damage that we could cause. So they're just trying to damage control even before anything happens.
No, I think it's more like with RVP, this thing happened, right? Like he could have had a.
Oh, it's not just RVP, Nasri, everybody that left us. We just went and abused them.
No, not about the abuse side of it. What I meant is like RVP could have been an Arsenal legend. Right, like even if he went at that time but joined another team, we wouldn't have had this like, oh, he's a traitor, he's a snake thing. He would have still been, he would have been considered the same way how we consider like Jack Wilshere or someone even better, right? But now because he went to United, United fans doesn't consider him as a legend for them. Arsenal fans don't consider him as a legend for them. So he's just some player who had these stats. He's not a person who is remembered at any club fondly, right? Like, so that's the thing that everyone's
United fans consider him as a legend because he won the title for them, which took them above Liverpool.
I mean, they see him fondly.
He single-handedly won the title.
Yeah, but they see him fondly. But are they considering him as a legend? No, they consider Ronaldo as a legend.
Sure, because he took them above Liverpool for one single.
I think there was. I remember seeing even like a fight between I think Arsenal fans and United fans. I don't remember which city it was. It was one of the Indian cities. Like after the game was over, the Arsenal fans were calling him a snake, and all the United fans were calling him a legend. Like it was a fight going on, definitely. So maybe not a lot, but definitely like people do see him as legend. Like Deepak said, probably like for that one thing, taking them above Liverpool, knocking them off their perch. That was a huge thing. That could be the reason. But then, whether he's a legend or not, he's got a Premier League title to show. Not a lot of people that we term legends have that. So.
Anyways, guys, I mean, I think getting back to the game, it's been a great week. And to have the whole team back to talk about the game has been great too. I mean, thank you guys for joining in today. And it's been amazing, as usual, to talk again with all of you. And for all the listeners, please do share, like, subscribe, and comment in your thoughts on, Aubameyang's comment or the refereeing decisions, or what would have happened between Henderson and Arsenal team, and your speculations and stuff. I love very good speculation and conspiracy. So just send me those things. I'm happy to read. So reach us out in all our social media platforms. If you want to talk with us, if you want to be here in the show, please do reach out to us. We will be very happy to have you in the show. Thanks, guys. Talk to you after the next game.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Professor.